In 1990, linguists at Texas Instruments called up random pairs of people all over the United States and made them talk to each other for an hour. Then they transcribed those conversations and made one of the first ever digitally searchable databases of spoken American English called the Switchboard Corpus. This is part 2 of my series on corpus linguistics. The Switchboard Corpus was a huge deal when it came out because there were very few databases of spoken conversation at the time. Conversation is really hard to transcribe by hand because there's often a lot of overlap between speakers, and linguists need to include a lot of additional information about pauses and intonation and other details that aren't normally included in things like a court transcript. It usually takes about 1 hour to transcribe 1 minute of speech. The switchboard corpus had about 260 hours, amounting to 1.4 million words. So it was a huge step forward because linguists could finally take kind of a big data approach to studying language. They could look at how language varied based on region, age, social class, or ethnicity. And linguistics is an empirical science that needs to be able to back its claims with data. So before the development of big databases like this, linguists were much more limited in the types of things they could study and how they could study them. Most corpora up to that point consisted of just written text, which isn't a very good representation of how people actually talk. So the switchboard corpus really expanded what linguists could do with their research. And because it's one of the first corpora, it's also one of the most heavily annotated corpora. It's been annotated for all sorts of features, like phonetics or parts of speech. That said, the corpus isn't perfect. One of the biggest criticisms of the project is that the researchers gave participants topics of conversation to discuss in advance. So the conversation wasn't super natural, and it tended to be pretty repetitive because it was a lot of, "Hi, how are you? Where are you from? What do you do for work?" And these conversations were usually pretty awkward. Here's one example.
So, do you have a long? I guess not up there. See, I was raised in New York, but I guess up there y'all don't have too long of a growing season, do you?
Um, well, we probably have about 3 months,
Do you,
approximately.
do you do your own gardening?
Mm-hmm. Do you work, or are you retired, or?
No, I work. I'm only 40 years old. I have to work.
Well, my husband's retired, but he's not a gardener. He's been helping me more, but he really isn't real crazy about gardening.
So we can do better. And in fact, now an international team of researchers is putting together what's going to be the largest corpus of spoken American English ever made. The LANA corpus is recording over 1,000 hours of conversation, which should be about 10 million words when it's done. It is a super exciting project. And the research team is actually paying participants to record conversations for them. So if you'd like to get a $25 Amazon gift card, all you have to do is record yourself having a conversation for 2 hours with a friend, upload it to the project website, and they'll send you a gift card. I put the details for that in the caption, or you can go see the first video in the series for more details. Stick around for part 3, where I discuss my top 10 favorite corpora, including the sci-fi anime corpus. So stick around for that.